look at Megatron's alternative mode. What's up guys, it's Alfonso here today and welcome to another episode of my approaching TF5 series. This is simply a series where I discuss all the facts and rumors in regards to the upcoming Transformers 5 movie. This is episode number 43 and today we got some stuff to discuss in reference to the toys from Transformers The Last Night. I know, it's about time. We've seen a lot of these characters, the main characters of Transformers, in action in these trailers, but we haven't yet really gotten a really good look of the collection figures, the toys. So yes, recently there has been toy fairs and all kinds of events that has been hosted on behalf of the toy line, and Hasbro has been releasing some official images of these particular characters and the toys that correspond with the characters in the movie. So today we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about, each individual character. We're going to kind of look at them in depth, see the detail that they added into the toys, and we're just going to take a closer look and check these guys out. So without further ado, let's begin. So very, very recently, Hasbro has released official images of the actual toys that they're going to release to the public, and these particular figures are a part of what's called the Premiere Series, which is basically the series that Hasbro calls the figures for Transformers The Last Night. Now, even though this is called the Premiere Series and is a little different from what we're used to, it still follows the same subcategories as we've been used to in the past, such as Leader Class, Voyager Class, and Deluxe Class. So there were three different classes, just like always, and they have released certain images for these corresponding classes. So the first class obviously is Leader Class, and the only one that I believe they've released, or the only one that I've seen, was Leader Class Megatron. Now this guy, first of all, I wanted to start off with him because Megatron, not only do we get to see what the toy looks like, and we get to see, the paint scheme and the weapons that he's gonna have in the toy line, but we also have a fantastic look at Megatron's alternative mode. Through this particular reveal, we know for sure that he will transform into a jet. I am so happy. I always imagine Megatron being a jet. It kind of resembles like Jetfire and Starscream put together, their alt modes, because you kind of have, the head of the jet, which kind of resembles Starscream's F-22 Raptor, but like the overall shape of it, the outline of it, kind of reminds me of that big wide Jetfire alt mode. It kind of reminds me of that, but that has been revealed, guys. That is his official alternative mode. We have not seen the CGI version, which I was hoping they would release along with that. We have not seen the official CGI rendered. We haven't seen any action in any trailers. Hopefully, maybe in the future. It seems that he has two exhaust pipes in the back that shoot out fire as he flies, which is really, really cool. And I think they're going to add that feature. I think it's going to be plastic, orange plastic that's going to resemble fire on the back of it, so that's going to be interesting. And you can also see at the very top of the jet, you see his battle axe, which it kind of just holsters at the top as he flies, which is really, really cool. And of course, in his robot mode, you see he has the battle axe in his left hand, and he has that big, huge shock cannon in his, actually connected to his right arm. So that's really, really cool. Another interesting thing about his robot mode is that you can actually see his face without his battle shield, his face shield covering his face. You can see his actual teeth. Now that actually to me looks like Megatron that we all know and that we all remember. So I think this is a pretty interesting reveal. It's probably one of the most famous things about the reveal because people, they now know what he looks like in his alternative mode, which have not been released previously before this image was revealed. So in terms of the Voyager class, there has been a couple of new images released, such as Voyager Grimlock. Now Grimlock has a really interesting, I mean, the first thing I saw when I looked at this thing, he has a really interesting paint job. Like, he has this kind of roundish metallic paint job, and it's also this, not white, but cream colored shoulder pads, and of course you can see like his eyes on his shoulder pads. Very traditional, and he has the big barbarian bat club, whatever that is. And of course you can see his Dino mode, which, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the paint job for his Dino mode. I mean, it looks pretty cool for the robot mode, but the Dino mode, I mean, he's more of a gray, metallic, shiny Dinobot. So to have him kind of colored brown and cream, kind of, it just throws off the realistic value there. But there he is in his Dino mode, and I also don't know if there's going to be a way you can actually put his battle hammer on his Dino mode. It might be a separate entity until you transform him, which that's kind of a downer for me, but that is how he looks. And Voyager class Hound was released. He has his two big weapons in his hand, and of course he got the two weapons on his shoulder plates. I think they could have put a little bit more detail into this Hound figure. I think that they kind of just threw him into that. I think it was pretty cool because he's a medic. He has that red cross on his head, which signifies his insignia in the Autobot ranks, which is cool. Again, I don't see Hound as a medic, but the idea that he's a medic and that they put that front and center in his head, I think that's a pretty cool feature. Another interesting thing that I'm not sure how this works is his feet appear to be tires. It looks like his feet is actually tires, so I don't know how that actually works. If you can actually use feet for tires for feet, because I mean, if you're running, I mean, in my imagination the tires are gonna pop, or you know, in the heat of the battle you're not gonna have any more feet, you know. But that's how he looks. Not a huge fan of it, but I mean, I do kind of like a couple of minor features. So that is how Hound looks. Another revelation is Voyager class Megatron as well. They also revealed a Megatron Voyager, and I actually kind of like this one. They both look really, really good, but I think this Voyager class Megatron has more color than the leader class Megatron. This Voyager, as you can see, actually is going to have that translucent plastic on his head, like his skull area, so when you shine light through it, it's actually going to shine through his eyes, and his eyes are going to light up. It doesn't appear that they have that for his eyes on his leader class version, which is really, really unfortunate, because I kind of really like that LED feature that you can actually add into it, because you can actually, I've seen people who actually customize it. They've actually unscrewed or somehow they detached the head. They added a little battery powered LED light, and they just detached it, and then they turn it on, and you know, the particular figure's eyes light up without you even doing anything. So it's like they're actually, you know, you can see their eyes lit up, which is really, really cool to me. So I wish they would have had that for the leader class, especially because the leader class is more expensive than Voyager. So I would, you know, you would imagine it would be more features, but it's not really a big deal. It's something that they've done with a lot of Voyager class figures, so it's something that's definitely not different. And of course, you get a really, really good look at his battle axe. I know in the leader class you could see the battle axe, but it was kind of at an angle. This here, you can get a really good look at the detail of that particular battle axe, and you kind of lose visual of the shock cannon on his right arm because it's at an angle. But that is Voyager Megatron. Another thing is Voyager Scorn. Now Scorn is somebody that we have seen previously in Age of Extinction, and he is back for Transformers The Last Night. And so he's primarily red, not really gray. He's more red than gray, and you can see his alternative mode, and you can see his big huge tail that he uses as almost like a big whip, and the classic head sculpt from Age of Extinction. And actually, one thing I don't think that I've seen in any other Voyager Scorns is that he actually has the Autobot logo front and center on his chest plate, which is different. He wasn't really an Autobot per se. He was actually brought into the Autobot ranks by Optimus Prime when he tamed the Grimlock the Dinobots just kind of follow through. But they were not Autobots originally, so now apparently they're going to have Autobot insignia on their particular robot modes or on their alternative mode. So yes, now we have covered the Voyager class and the Leader class, and of course the biggest class, which typically Hasbro manufactures a lot of products for this particular class, is the Deluxe class. So yes, we have quite a bit of guys to talk about in terms of Deluxe class. So the first guy we're going to talk about for the Deluxe class that was released is Bumblebee. Yes, the hero and the possible last knight. It has been revealed by Hasbro. You can see he has that classic battle cannon, and you can see that wonderful, I mean, I just absolutely love that Camaro. I mean, it's really the customized look that gives it away. I mean, you can see the customized front bumper that kind of extends at the bottom. You can see the chevrons on the side. You can see the detail on the front hood. I mean, the paint job is incredible. I mean, Shady's going nuts. I mean, this guy, I actually really love that alternative mode for Bumblebee, and that's probably one of the guys I'm probably gonna end up buying first for Transformers Last Night. So that's how he looks. Now I wanted to talk about him for a moment right now, because I know for, like, when he first was released, the CGI render of Bumblebee, when he was released, I was a little upset because I wasn't sure why they didn't go with an upgraded version of his Age of Extinction appearance. And I now understand why they did this, why he looks more like a previous Bumblebee than an upgraded Age of Extinction Bumblebee. I actually read a statement from one of the guys that was helping the production of this movie, and they actually said that the reason why they put Bumblebees, they made him look like the previous movies, is because we are in the year 2017, and we know Transformers Last Night comes out in 2017, but also the Transformers franchise, the live action franchise, I'm talking about since 2007, since the first movie, actually is celebrating their 10-year anniversary this year. This is the 10th year that the Transformers live action series has even existed. So they wanted to commemorate and acknowledge that this makes 1 decade of Transformers live action films. So they actually commemorated that and recognized that, acknowledged that through the appearance of Bumblebee. So he looks more like the Transformers 2007 classic Bumblebee, the robot mode at least. Another revelation is Deluxe Crosshairs. He has been released. You can see him in his glory. It doesn't appear to be that he has any translucent plastic for eyes. It looks like it's just gray plastic that just kind of covers over his eyes, which kind of overshadows the detail. And also the detail in his arms is kind of hollow and kind of poorly done, but you do get his 2 classic weapons that we've seen in Age of Extinction, and we see that nice battle coat hanging off of his waist, and we see his alternative mode. I actually like the alt mode a whole lot better, and the paint job, of course, it's more of a, not really that shiny, it's kind of more of a matte green type color. So, but I actually like the alt mode better than the robot mode. So that's how Crosshairs look. Another revelation is Deluxe Class Strafe. Yes, Strafe. We've seen him in Age of Extinction, and he's coming back in The Last Night. Now this is actually pretty cool because I had to take a look at it. It's almost an optical illusion. Maybe not for you guys, but for me. I was looking at his robot mode and I'm like, wait a minute. Look at his 2 big shoulders. Like, that's his mouth. That's his 2 eyes and the 2 halves of his mouth in his alt mode. So I thought that was cool. Of course, they went with the same kind of brownish, not really brown, but almost tan and cream paint job, and the classic tail, and the huge big weapon on his right arm. Kind of like what they did with Grimlock. They kind of follow that same paint job. And another Transformer they have revealed for Deluxe Class is Slash. Now Slash is kind of a smaller version of Grimlock. It appears that he has a red painting for eyes. I don't think it's translucent. And it's more of a turquoise or baby blue and cream paint job. And of course his robot mode is a little lacking in detail in terms of the legs, but looks pretty good from the waist up. Very, very unique figure. And another robot that has been revealed is Slug. Slug. I love Slug. He is the, I believe, Triceratops. I don't want to get it wrong. I need to know my prehistoric history. That's how Slug looks. He has this orange painting with a almost a baby blue painting, and of course his horns are more white than anything. And his robot mode, you can see the 2 swords in his hand, and I actually like this guy better in terms of the overall look of the robot mode. He's one of the favorite Dinobot robot modes that I've seen so far. Another guy that was revealed is Drift. Deluxe Drift. Now actually, you guys know I love Drift, and he has that beautiful scarlet paint job. Like, it's just incredible. And I mean, if you kind of look at it, he looks like he's smiling. He looks like he's smiling. But yes, you see his 2 samurai swords in his hand, and you have 2, I believe, is the pegs to put on his 2 shoulders, I believe, or maybe they're also swords, mini swords that he has that you can also peg in his hand. So that looks really, really cool. That's one of my favorite robot modes so far. One of my favorites. And we do see his alt mode, which is primarily black with the Autobot logo on top and the classic bottom red. Now, one thing I did notice with the vehicular mode is that at the bottom there's this red piece that kind of sticks out, and I hope that's part of the door and not part of the base, because one thing with Hasbro toy lines, you know, they have a habit of like leaving parts, like when you transform it into the alt mode, there's some parts that you try to have to push under to keep it up, and it doesn't really like roll on the wheels because there's this piece at the bottom poking out. So I hope that's not the case with this Drift character, because this is a really good model, and this is probably one of the guys I'm gonna get because I love Drift and I love this deluxe class look. Another revelation is Squeaks, the little teeny tiny cute little Autobot Squeaks, the little motorcycle, the little Vespa. He's just so cute. So yeah, Squeaks was released. You see the robot mode there. It's probably a very simple transformation because he's very small, and there's also what appears to be a station, almost like like an auto station where he would store things. I guess this is kind of like Optimus Prime in Dark of the Moon when he had the trailer, and in Chernobyl he transformed, and the trailer transformed also, and it turned into this hub station where he can grab weapons in ease of access. So this is possibly the same concept with Squeaks. There might be a part of him that transforms into like a station that he can use for various tasks, and he has this really big cannon looking weapon on his right hand. I mean, for a little guy, he's packing. He's packing. It looks almost too heavy for him, but he has that really nice cannon in his hand, so he's going to be contributing to the overall battle. Of course, it's not going to be major, but it's going to be to some extent. And of course, you can see his alt mode, which is the beautiful turquoise bluish, light bluish color. And you have some dirt kind of painted on there, some rust painted into the detail to kind of give that rusty look. So he's probably going to be a refurbished Autobot. And lastly, we have Steelbane for the deluxe class Steelbane. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Dinobot robot modes. That's awesome. I like that. Steelbane looks incredible. The 2 wings, kind of like an angel. He looks like an angel Autobot, you know? He kind of reminds me of an angelic Autobot with the big angelic sword, the 2 big wings, the big breastplate, and the big shoulder pads. And he is, oh my god. What I love about him, and I hope this is the case with the movie, I hope that he can actually fly in robot mode using those wings, because that's something we have never seen before. But he does transform into a dino figure with wings that he can actually use, which is probably what they're going to do. I'm not sure if they're going to actually have him fly in robot mode like that. I'm not a huge fan of the I'm not a fan of the dino mode. He looks like rooster. He looks like a chicken. Like, he looks like a really weird turkey on crack or something. Like, I don't know. He looks like a blunt. Like, he looks... he looks really just not... He just doesn't look good to me in alt mode. But his robot mode, to me, is just spectacular. So, that is the Deluxe class, the Voyager class, and the Leader class revelations of the Hasbro toy line for the premiere series. Now, in addition to all of these images that were released, there was actually an event in Japan, a Hasbro sponsored event, where there was another revelation of another toy of a specific character that we have not talked about yet, but is like one of the key characters in the entire movie. the number one talked about guy, that's Optimus Prime. Yes, in Japan, in the toy fair, I believe it's called the Winter Wonderfest, they revealed the official model of Shadow Spark Optimus Prime. That is right, they had him under a glass box with a red drape over it, and they counted down, they removed it from the glass box, and you were able to see the particular figure inside the glass, Shadow Spark Optimus Prime. And they also did the same thing, a very similar thing, like they did with Optimus. They did the same thing with Bumblebee. They revealed him from under the glass from the red drape. So those are two characters that were primarily revealed and featured in Japan. In addition to all of this, the Transformers The Last Night Optimus Prime official voice changer helmet is now available for pre-order on online retailers all over the place. You can find them on Hasbro, Toys R Us, Amazon, Target, etc. You can see images of the particular helmet there. One thing that I was kind of disappointed when I saw that he's not going to have any official quotes from the movie. It's going to be generic quotes. He's going to have the classic 3 buttons on the side where you click and you can actually hear him speak. It would have been cool if you would hear him say, "Forgive me," or like, you know, "My maker, I do," or something like that. It would have been cool if they would have put that audio in there when you would press the button, but it did not. So the voice changer helmet is available for pre-order. It is starting at approximately a US retail price of $79.99, so like around 80 bucks US dollars. And of course, I'm gonna have the links of all of those online stores in the description if you wanted to just at least check it out, read the specs, and possibly order it for pre-order if you wanted to. According to Amazon, Amazon claims that this is going to be available on March 1st, 2017. Is when they're going to have it in stock and start shipping them out. So I'm not sure if that's the official release date, but that's what Amazon.com says. You can check that particular listing out on Amazon. That's going to be in the description box below. I recommend checking that one out first, because that one has a whole lot more detail. You can also see other retailers that are selling it, and you get a really good description of it. And of course, it has an Amazon promise of March 1st. So I recommend if you wanted to pre-order it, I would do it from Amazon. The Amazon link I have in the description box. And that's all today, guys. I know it's been a lot of stuff I covered. I just wanted to cover all that because that's really cool stuff that they're releasing. But that is all I wanted to talk about today, guys. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to have more videos like this, smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to me already, please do. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers, and I might have a little surprise thrown in there when I reach 3,000. But that's all today, guys. Thank you for watching. My name is Alfonso, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out. Him on the dark side slams Bumblebee, but Bumblebee says, "Oh no, sir. Oh no, sir. You are not gonna just throw me down and get away with it." And he literally just comes behind and just knocks the piss out of he knocks the crap. Like when I say he knocks that, like he knocks the hell. Optimus loses his shield all days, and then the next scene he's on the ground.